Okay, I need to make some major corrections and just really bottom line this at the bottom truth. I'm grateful that this will be the last time I have to talk about this, save addressing comments. I'll address comments, but for me having to dig anymore, I think I'm at the end here. And the reason being this, let me make my corrections first. I went ahead and you know, did my own thing as far as saying, I said, we should study our word and get into our word. Well, I looked up the, well, for one, talent in the Bible is never listed as like talents, like how we call talents or whatever. It's always referred to as money. Gifts, on the other hand, though, again, I had already looked at gifts or whatever, but in the Bible, um, what we call gifts, like singing gift and dancing gift and things like that, those things aren't necessarily mentioned in the Bible as such. Yet, the biblical definition of a gift is still that which is something that you didn't deserve, you didn't do anything to earn, that type of thing. And so I can definitely understand how people could take those things that we today call talents and put them in the same category as gifts from God, because there was nothing that we did to obtain them. That's favor of God that has, that enables us to do things, many things. Now, in the Bible, to minister, and again, all of this is based on looking at a Strong's Concordance, looking at going to the Net Bible. You can go to netbible.org. For example, go to Romans 11:29, and gifts um, is listed or defined, uh, a favor with which one receives without any merit of his own the gift of divine grace, the gift of faith, knowledge, holiness, virtue. The economy, now this is the key part, the economy of divine grace by which the pardon of sin and eternal salvation is appointed to sinners in consideration of the merits of Christ laid hold of by faith. That being said, our salvation is actually a gift. Now, I'm not even going to assume for people out there, but me personally, I wouldn't put my gift of salvation on the same level as my gift of being able to quote unquote hold a note or sing or dance or whatever. Um, because both of those things, especially here on earth, both of those things, whether singing, dancing, whatever, even if you are gifted or have that talent, as we would say in our language, you still have to work at it. You still have to train in it. You still have to, do some other things to perfect it, so to speak, or bring it to the utmost of its ability. The other things that are lifted, or excuse me, listed, well, I don't even want to say the other things, but obviously your salvation, all you do is walk it out. You believe and you walk it out. Um, that's really, for me personally, that's not an equal comparison. But that being said, though, um, if we're talking about gifts, we're talking about salvation, um, we're talking about ministering. That was the other one. Excuse me for leaving out that one. That was very important. To minister, definition of that is basically to serve. Now, I don't know about you, but if you go to a restaurant and you're paying somebody to serve you, okay, they're serving you. But here's the catch. That's basically just a regular person. They don't have to be Christian or not. You go to a restaurant, you're paying. You go to a concert, you're paying. You go to the movie theater, you're paying. Now, if you think that movie stars and people who are working a job are actually serving you in the same sense that a person ministers according to the Bible as being a servant, then I think that's where the problem in their lies. Because according to our language today, yeah, a lot of celebrities will say, I do it for the fans. I do it for the fans. I do it for the fans. And just even recently, Jackman or whatever did the Wolverine movie or whatever. He's like, I do it for the fans. And to be honest, I do it for free, but don't tell anyone. Okay. Now, these are just all worldly, general, open-ended stuff. So, if they're ministering, if we're going to say that they're ministering, I mean, then I guess, then you're right. Then I guess Mary is ministering, if they're ministering too, because it's the same thing. They're both getting paid to do it. And I guess you're being serviced with a song when you pay your money to go to a concert. If you think that ministering in the Bible is the same as that. Now, if you don't, then in lies the truth of it's not the same. Going to pay, for somebody to do something ain't the same service, and being a servant, like it's mentioned in the Bible by the definition of what it means to minister. So now it would be different if someone was actually giving and being a servant, and then somebody being blessed or compelled by what this servant did, in turn wanted to bless that person by having a choice. That's a whole nother thing. Now, and if I'm not mistaken, the Bible talks about that. So again, there is definitely a difference between what a biblical servant is, what a biblical person who is actually ministering to someone else is, and what today's group of people, be they Christians, non, whatever, have now concocted and made up to say that, oh, this is ministry, this is ministering. You got a ticket, you paid for a CD. Now, let me open the door a little bit more. Personally, I totally believe, like, I've been ministered to, I believe, in a sense, and maybe ministering maybe isn't the right word now that I've defined things correctly. I've been inspired. I've been enlightened. I've been able to process some things because of songs from people like Fred Herman, like Todd Tribbett, like Kirk Franklin, and other people that other people have issues with. I don't have issues with a lot of these people at all, but I just want to be clear, and I want Christians to be clear on what they're talking about and what they're doing and what we're saying. My bottom line is, again, the video for the God in Me Mary song, even to unsaved people and to save people across the board, for the most part, didn't make sense, didn't hold up with even what the words of the song were. That's number one. Number two, I already discussed the red carpet thing. I'm just putting it out there for what it is. If we're not talking about Jesus Christ, Him dying for your sins, buried, raised from the dead, resurrected, and living a Christ-like life, a life of sacrifice, a life of obedience, being in the Word and living the Word, if that's not in the song, if that's not what's being said, I don't see a saved person getting a fruitful seed that's going to produce fruitful results. And by sheer nature of looking at the comments and talking to people, and in my own personal experiences, I've never seen fruit come. I've never seen cherries come from orange seeds. I've never seen two dogs come together and make a cat. That's the bottom line, and unfortunately, I don't think this was. I think I was bouncing all over the place with my words here and whatnot. But honestly, based on looking at the things I've put out here, I got a feeling when I look at this, I'm gonna see that the truth still is being said. Either you can get it or you can forget it. So let's see.